everyone, Sushi back for What's Wrong with Maplestory Part 3. For those of you that didn't see Part 1 about gear progression or Part 2 about Nexon America as a publisher, I'd suggest that you go back and you watch those videos before diving into this one. Everything I'm about to say is entirely my opinion and the way that I saw the game playing it. I know a good amount of you probably disagree with a lot of things I'm about to say and have said in my previous videos, and that's fine. This is just how I feel about the game and why I quit it. Part 3 of this series is going to be talking about leveling up in Maplestory. Leveling up in Maplestory has become very stale. You grind in the same couple of maps for the majority of the game, and when new places to train get added, none of them end up being better or more efficient than the maps that we already have. Why move to a map that gives barely any more experience and takes so much more effort? Nexon's answer to that question is, nerf the old maps, that'll force players to move. And personally, I think that's the wrong way to go about it. Why negatively incentivize your players to move rather than positively incentivize them to? I thought that when Unleashed came out, it was going to be the start of Nexon caring about endgame grinders. I was so excited to have higher damage cap and a higher level cap. The first 5 minutes Unleashed was up, I was already grinding in Future Paryon for golems. To hit 201 before anyone else did. Even after that few hours of grinding getting rolled back that day because they fucked up the patch, I didn't care. I enjoyed every single minute of it, and I was fine with doing it all over again. And that feeling lasted around until I hit 210 on my BAM a month later. I have a link to that video somewhere on the video right now. And the patch right after I hit 210 on my BAM, golems got their EXP nerfed in half for no reason. And they also made it so that level 200s could no longer use 2x coupons, which I was mad about at the time, but in all honesty, didn't really matter to me in the long run. I lost all of my motivation to keep going, though. I mean, I hit 210, I was above most people, I was in the top 50 in GMS, I was in the top 5 of my server. Why should I keep going? And that was the last real time that I had fun grinding for just hours a day that just seemed to melt away as I was playing. I had fun times after that, leveling up my 0 to be the first 200 in Renegades, which I remained top 10 in until I quit it when I moved to Scania. I had fun leveling up my Dark Knight Sushi in Scania to 239, I think, with my Euphoria friends and my Avid friends in the X-Kissable group. I had fun when I moved to Barra and leveled up Night Lord Sushi to 230 with the Barra boys. But I mean, at that point, leveling was a means to an end. I wanted to be the top 10 of any class I played because that's the kind of person I am. And at one point, I even wanted to reach 250 on Sushi. But it almost became like a job or a chore to grind and level up. If I put in 8 hours of grinding today, I'll be X% and I'll be that much closer to the next level. Instead of saying, wow, I want to play Maple today, I'm probably going to grind, and then just having the hours melt away. It got to the point where the time needed wasn't worth it to me anymore. And there are two main reasons for this. Firstly, grinding has become mind-numbing. At many points in my playing of Maplestory, grinding and leveling up required your direct attention and concentration. When the game came out, there were so many players on every single map that you had to try your best just to get a couple kills every time the mob spawned. And when PQ started coming out, like Kerning PQ, Ludi PQ, Orbis PQ, and eventually Carnival PQ, they were huge things. You needed to get your party together, you needed to scout out a channel, and then you needed to complete the whole thing efficiently without failing or dying. And in the later levels, you'd go to Aqua Road and Leafree mobs, and those motherfuckers would kill you in like 2 to 3 hits. If you were a bishop or like a mage class, you might even get one shot if you didn't have hyper body on. You had to be on your shit to grind efficiently without dying. And back then, there was no safety charms. If you died, rip, just an hour of work is gone, or more depending on how high level you were. Even when LHC and SH were introduced, they were maps that you needed a full party on their shit to do well. I mean, now there's auto HP, auto MP pets, any mob that you can grind on can be one shot, and there's no incentive to party with other people, you just lose the experience. Even being in a party with you and a bishop is bad. The only way you get any benefit is from getting HS'd and then being in your own party after that and not splitting with the person that gave you Holy Symbol. You can get into an endgame map nowadays and completely turn your brain off. You just turn back and forth and hit monsters mindlessly until it's time to eat, piss, or sleep again. And I feel like at this point, most people have something else going on to keep them entertained while they grind. The game itself isn't keeping their attention enough. It's just something they do with their hands while they watch YouTube or streams or TV. And I don't, I don't think that that's the way the game should be. We should have party-based maps that give good EXP and take teamwork and time and effort to grind on efficiently. And we just don't have that right now. And secondly, Nexon stopped making new, fun grinding spots. When I started this game, I had an army of level 30s. Maple Island, Hennison's Hunting Ground, Slime Tree, Boars, and then even Sleepywood when you got high enough. I did that shit so many times I don't even remember all of the characters' names. During the reign of PQs, I couldn't tell you the number of characters I got to level 50 because of Carnival PQ. That was the funnest thing to me. I remember during middle school, I spent an entire spring break leveling up 3 characters to level 50, doing Carnival PQ all day, every day because I didn't have school. And Orbis PQ glitching and Looty Maze PQ rushing, those were so fucking fun. Later down the line, grinding Bonefish and Gobies and Aqua Road, Nudies and Skelegons and Leafree, that was the shit. Not a single moment did I think, wow, this isn't fun, I'm gonna log off. It kept me engaged the entire time. Every single level felt fun and earned. And even after Big Bang, when Renegades came out and everyone was racing to be the first 5 to 200 so that you'd have your name at the top of the rankings, LHC grinding was the most fun thing I'd ever done up to that point. I joined a party with a bunch of people I didn't know, and I was on a BAM, I think, and then later on I was on a Archer, and it was so much fun getting to know all these different people that were racing to 200. Every single person in Renegades that hit level 200, the top 25 people, I knew them all on a first name basis. I knew each of their stories, I knew each of them like personally. And that was the coolest thing ever to me, that there was an entire community of people that were dedicated enough to come together and try to hit 200 as fast as possible. And even when HOH started becoming something that was like viable and doable, when new better gear started coming out, you would have whole parties of funded people working together to get their secondary and third characters up to 200. And getting higher levels meant working to do new, cooler areas and new places to grind with more higher level players that you got to meet. And when Future Perion came out and level cap was raised, golems gave you 250k EXP a kill, but they had 50 million HP. Even if you could break the old 1 mil cap that was raised that day, you would still at least need a duo to kill both sides of the map. And before even a month was over, they nerfed Golem EXP in half to 120k and made it so that level 200s couldn't use their coupons anymore. And the leveling hype completely died out. Like about a month or two later, everyone moved back to HOH and just said, fuck it, I guess we had to do it this way. Nexon's not going to do anything about golems. And then HOH got its party buff taken away. They nerfed golems again to 65k EXP, I think, to ensure that we wouldn't be going back there. And so everyone moved to Drill Hall, Armory, and Knights District 4. And now even those have been nerfed recently to move people into the Blackhaven maps. Did you guys notice a turning point in this story where I stopped listing the cool new things I was excited to grind in Maplestory into a list of things Nexon's done to make grinding less fun and rewarding? Because I did. I lived that turning point in this game. The game's leveling progression just took a huge downturn, and I just watched it never recover. And I'm not saying the Blackhaven maps are bad design. By all means, I think they're better design than SH ever was. But they don't give anywhere near the EXP to make them worth their level, make them worth their HP, and make them worth the effort that takes to kill there. They're not even as good as the first version of golems in Future Perion that we had. And I think that's sad. I've lost all motivation in this game to reach 250. It's not fun to me, it's not rewarding to me, it's simply a title saying, hey, I sat at my computer clicking right arrow, attack, left arrow, attack, over and over again for about 1500 hours. In closing, why would I play a game with no gear progression, that's not fun to level up in, and is run by a company that doesn't give a fuck about me? My answer? I wouldn't. And that's why I quit. with no intentions of ever going back to becoming the active player that I once was. And of course, I miss my friends, I miss my character, and I miss the good times I had. But for me, it's time to make new memories in a new game that fulfills my personal desires as a player. Thank you for watching this series, and regardless of how you feel about Maplestory after listening to my opinions, remember, have a good one.